on YouTube? This is Broker Friendly Neighborhood Prior Service Recruiter, and today I want to talk about Reserve 101 type stuff. So I've been doing this recruiting gig for about 2 years, so a lot of questions I get, a lot of curiosities is going to be covered in this video. So the biggest thing that I want to emphasize when you're coming off of active duty, just to sort of set the expectation, it's going to be a lot different. So you're coming off of active duty. Everybody in active duty is living, breathing, sleeping the military. So managing your career is really coming second nature. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes that you don't even realize. When you come into the reserves, that's going to be a big change. So that's something that I see people struggle with a lot of the times, is they think that they can just show up to the drill weekend and someone's going to come up to them and be like holding their hand and telling them they have to do this and they have to do that. It's not going to be like that. You have to know how to have a good year. You have to know what to do and do it. There's going to be hit lists and stuff, like if you have your dental's not good to go, things like that. But when it comes to having a good year, it's really going to be on you. And I don't want to scare you. There really is a lot of good opportunity that comes along with this, because you're not waiting for someone to tell you what you can and can't do. You just do it yourself. So figuring it out. And then once you figure it out, you're going to be good. So when you're coming off of active duty, you're going to be going to a reserve center, obviously. So the reserve center is going to be whatever one you choose. And if you wanted to change it once you get there, you go back to New Orleans and then, I got married and now I want to live back in California, you can change it. You would just initiate what's called a TRUIC change. So you can change it at any time. That's really flexible. But just knowing the difference between your training unit and your UIC with your NRC. So what do I mean by that? So you're going to get attached to an NRC and they're taking care of everything for you administratively. So your pay, your GTCC, kind of things like that. And then your training unit is taking care of basically everything else. Your annual trainings, you're going to be drilling with them. They're going to muster you, kind of everything like that. That's where your chain of command is going to be. So what does a drill weekend look like? So you're basically going to show up to the NRC most of the time. Some of them drill somewhere else, depending on your training unit, like I said. You're going to show up, you're going to sit down, they're going to muster you, and then they're going to say, Gonzalez is on the hit list for flu shot, and, Martinez is needing to do the whatever GMT. And then that's what they're going to do. And then you break off and you do whatever you have to do. So if you're on the hit list, you do that. If you have other things you need to take care of, you do that. And then after you go and have lunch, eventually, and then you come back and then they do it again. Hey, did you get this done? Did you get this done? Kind of check in on you. And that's pretty much it. So it's kind of boring. Like you're just basically doing your GMTs and stuff like that. But this is your time to take care of the things that you need to take care of. So like I said, you can knock out your GMTs. If you wanted in October, knock out all your GMTs and then you don't have to worry about it the rest of the year. You can do homework. You can get more involved with the NRC. You can do like MWR stuff, volunteer stuff. You can really make it however you want to make it. You can go to the gym, whatever you want to do, just make it your thing. You want to get your unit together and do a training. If you're really hot shit writing evals, do that. So whatever you want to do is kind of like how it goes. Obviously, when you first get started, it's going to be a little bit of a learning process for you. So just maybe getting someone to take you under their wing and teach you a little bit about that. So that's what a drill weekend is going to look like. So in order for you to have a good year, you need to have 50 points a year. So what the heck is up with all the point stuff? So when you come off active duty, your active duty time is going to get translated into reserve time in terms of your retirement. So you can retire in the reserves at 20 years, but it's going to be calculated a little bit differently. So on active duty, if you're in the old system, the old retirement system, you would just take your years times 2.5%, and that gives you the whatever you're going to get for your pension. With the reserves, it's the same thing, but it goes off of points. So I did 10 years of active duty, 10 times 365. That's how many points I have coming into the reserves. So your points are going to be calculated based on, you can track it on your ASOSH. I have another video about the ASOSH thing, but make sure that you're tracking it. And also, you get 4 points on a drill weekend. So 2 points on Saturday, 2 points on Sunday. So if you do the math right there, 4 times 12 is going to be 48. So that gets you 48 points just by making it to your drill weekends. So you're going to do 12 days of annual training as well. And that's going to be done with your training unit. That's how you're going to get your points. And the closer you get to 7,200 is the equivalent to 20 years in active duty. Obviously, the better. So maxing out as many points as you can get. You can get more points doing correspondence courses, funeral honors, doing additional drills, kind of things like that. One thing I do want to add with that is if your chain of command is asking you to do anything outside of a drill weekend, calling you on a Monday and being like, hey, I need you to like write your eval or something like that, always put in for additional drills. Sometimes you can get paid, sometimes you can't, but either way you can get like unpaid drills and you're going to get points for doing that. So that way you're being compensated in some sort of way for doing things for the Navy outside of a drill weekend. But that's why it's important for you to take advantage of your time on a drill weekend and do the things you need to do and be proactive. Otherwise, those sort of things happen. So anyways, that's how you have a good year. And obviously maxing out your retirement is going to be the goal for all of us. I want to talk a little bit more about annual training. So like I said, depending on your unit, it's going to depend on what you do. So when I first joined the Navy Reserves, I was doing my annual trainings with an EMF unit. And so we went over to Wisconsin and we had to do these like field exercises. I hated them and I really didn't like it. And I was really hoping for all these other opportunities because someone else in the unit next door was going to like Rota, Spain and like Bahrain and like all these cool places. And I'm like, I have to go to Wisconsin. But that's why it's important for you to choose your unit. So for me, it was either one or the other. So once I changed units, I went to, and that can be done in my Navy assignment. I went to Range Camp Pendleton. So basically it's a clinic for Marine recruits on Camp Pendleton. So long story short, did my annual training in Camp Pendleton. I did an extended annual training, 29 days. That gets you more points, that gets you more pay, kind of things like that. They put me up in a hotel, got me a rental car, all that good stuff. That was sort of the annual training I was looking for. I explored San Diego, I loved it. And that's how I sort of ended up here. So yeah, so just figuring out what you can and can't do and going from there. The biggest message that I'm trying to get across is it really is what you make of it. Get ahead of your career, figure out what you need to do, the sooner the better, because then you're not going to be lost in the sauce and going to drill weekends and being like, what the heck is going on? But get ahead of it, figure out your requirements, knock your requirements out, ask. If someone tells you no, like if you want to do something and someone tells you no, just ask somebody else, because a lot of times people just don't understand the process. I'll give you an example. I wanted to put in an officer package and they told me I couldn't because I was hopping on orders, but they just didn't know what they were talking about. So I did both. Unfortunately, wasn't selected, but still, if I wouldn't have pushed a little bit harder, I wouldn't have known that was going to be something I could do. So biggest thing, seek out opportunities, figure out how to leverage your position in the reserves to make the most of it. Use your community, watch my videos, go on the Facebook page, reach out to other people, because there is going to be people out there. If you're struggling with something, there's going to be people out there that have the answers. It just might not be people in your immediate vicinity. Have fun with it. Let me know if you have any more questions. This is a super brief overview of some of these things, but you can comment on my videos. You can reach out to me directly on my Instagram, kind of anything like that. Let me know if you have questions, and good luck.